You're listening to the Australian Water Association podcast series. My name is Jo Taranto, and joining me is Terry Mulvaney. Terry is the Manager of Risk Compliance and Audit at City West Water, and today we're discussing the Bridge, implementing a new enterprise management system. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you, Jo. Thanks for inviting me along. Thank you.
So tell us about the scope and scale of the work that City West Water does, Terry.
Okay, City West Water, we predominantly cover the major part of Melbourne CBD. We've got over 40,000 business customers, one of the largest business customer portfolios in Victoria. And we've got many customers, residential customers, just around about 1 million in total. We cover quite a large stretch, including the major sporting facilities in Melbourne. Many people know the MCG and the new Marvel Stadium and many, many other tennis centres as well. Along with that, we have 18 hospitals and 10 university campuses that we cover. And we're providing, obviously, potable water and sewage services to those customers and their communities and all the tourists that visit Melbourne every single year.
Why then was it important as an organisation to embark on a new platform?
Well, about 2 years ago, we set out to look at really all our IT systems in particular to try and bring a level of simplification to them and streamline the systems as well. And streamline was key for us at City West Water in respect to how we deliver health, safety, environmental quality and risk requirements. And we had 5 to even 6 systems in the past, which all told us different information regarding our delivery of our services from a risk perspective and how we deliver those exceptional services to our customers. At the same time, we had no real system that captured issues or events in one place that really gave us insight around how do we make decisions at City West Water. And it was a focus, I guess, as well from the board's perspective around understanding what our risks profile looked like at City West Water as well. And it was quite hard. In fact, it was very difficult to provide a report and say, this is what we look like. So the journey we set out on was really to try and bring or identify a system that really would bring risk, quality, health and safety, environmental, in those areas in particular together, and bring a tool or a system that people would actually use in their day-to-day duties within the company. So the bridge was identified, and it wasn't called the bridge at the time. The project was called The Bridge, but funny enough, every time I look out my window in Footscray office, the head office, I look over the Westgate Bridge. So it was quite a good idea to bring the bridge through and how we link systems into one, basically.
It sounds like it was a bit of a no-brainer to unify the systems, but I can imagine it's not a seamless process. What's some of the challenges you face when taking on a project like this, Terry?
I think some of the challenges up front is with many people, many companies will know it's sometimes you think what you're going to get in the box is going to deliver everything for you. And it's a bit like opening a Christmas present and thinking you've got everything in the one box, but you probably find out you've got about 5 or 6 different parts and you've got to bring it together. So the challenge was for us was really that we understood what we were getting from our vendor in the system perspective, but we had to do a lot of work internally. And if we think about those 5 or 6 disparate systems, lots of information, lots of data within those systems. So we had to do a cleansing exercise, and that took time. In fact, we probably should have done the cleansing exercise probably about 3 to 6 months before we even got the system. When I think about it now, and that was one of our key outcomes looking back. But certainly setting up a team internally within City West Water as a project team to really help us to do that whole facilitation around data cleansing even working through closing older systems down. What does that really look like? And how do we use that good data that we've actually captured in the past, and how do we combine it? So there was a number of different parts that had to play out, but also thinking about the future around the system. And we thought, well, let's go with the basics at the start and then try and enhance it as we go along, because we knew that it was quite an adventure at the start because it looked fantastic. It was like a nice, shiny, brand new car. But to be quite honest with you, we didn't have all the instructions to drive it. And we just kind of built it along the way as we went along in the project. So we wanted to start small and grow and not over exaggerate it due to the fact that it had so many smarts in the system, but we just gradually started that journey. So we are today 12 months in, and it's our anniversary. We had a bit of a party, a virtual party, but it's doing what we really expected the system to do at this point in time, and the feedback's been very positive.
You mentioned it's been running for about a year now. What's the uptake within the organisation been like? Have people been resistant, or has it been embraced?
No, it's certainly been embraced. Real time, we've had over 10,500 audits and inspections uploaded into the system. So that's anything from our field compliance audit reviews and health and safety, quality reviews that people do in the field, our internal audits and external audits as well. So everything from an audit perspective goes into the system. So that's a great, fantastic volume and number of audits that have gone in. And we've also captured over 1,100 actions. So things that people observe in the field, or even coming to work every day, or as an observation around safety in particular. And, anything from wires lying on the floor in an office to I'm not really feeling that great. I'm working from home virtually and my chair's really not working for me in COVID-19 kind of examples. Also, 1,135 findings have also been logged in the system, just issues. So the system's had a massive uptake. And in Victoria, like many people will know, we've just come out of a bushfire season down here. And the incident, we went into incident management modes like many other people in Victoria, many companies. All that information was actually downloaded into our system, the bridge. We also had other incidents before the bushfires. We had about 3 or 4 major ones. So we have this central portal that's actually started to capture that information. Now, under COVID-19, we know what's going on around the globe and the impacts to Australia as a whole. But we also have been in an incident management position at City West Water, and the findings that we have actually taken from the position we're in today are actually made their way into the bridge system. So we're taking all that information, but we're actually taking learnings and opportunities from it as well. And a great outcome that we achieved last week for the company was we actually used a checklist within the bridge system to manage people working virtually from home. So we have 95% of our staff working remotely from home. And the bridge was the tool that we used to manage the people to work from home. And that was to set them up with all their home PC facilities, desks, chairs, and also to ask questions about how they're actually getting on working from home. So the system's given us even more than what we actually set out to build at the start. I mean, 12 months in, we're thinking, my goodness, we're using this system for COVID-19. But really, we didn't anticipate we'd actually be using it for this type of thing. But it's got the facility and the benefits to certainly use for that wider proportion of things that happen, unfortunately, in such events.
Sounds like it's enabled you to be much more agile, Terry. What would you say the benefits would be, maybe from director all the way down to technician? What do they see, do you think, as the benefit for engaging with the bridge?
I think the key benefit is that we've managed to build it into all our smarts and electronic smarts. And when I mention electronic smarts, is I actually can get into the bridge on my mobile phone now, and I can actually see real-time data. It'll help me make decisions, whether it's something that's been raised or it's a decision that needs to be made. So from a director's perspective, they have access at an executive level to the bridge at any moment, at any particular time of day, to see what's going on. So that visibility of information is quite instant. Even when we've got people out in major projects and field monitoring team, health and safety people out in the field that, build pipes and fit bursts and all this other stuff, is they've got the tool at their hand. So anything can be raised instantly and at any point in time, and the message will be delivered quite quickly. So it's a real powerful tool, not only just for raising things, but for communicating where things are at a specific point in time. And that's a great example of how the tool's been brought to life. And if I think, regarding the board and many of our subcommittees, like the Risk Management Audit Committee, they've seen the system. They've actually seen the dashboards that are available in the system, and the show and tell of the day in the life of someone in the field has actually been presented back to them using the system as a great capability to tell the story. And that's definitely been a win for the directors in particular as well, because they've certainly bought into it, and there's a belief that this system has been pretty powerful, and it'll also do greater things for us as an organisation.
What would you say would be the major success factors for you, or perhaps for another organisation wanting to take on a similar journey?
The success factors is, I believe, one being the company that we went with at the time, and we felt as if they were part of us, and and having that real strong relationship with the vendor in particular, that was the first point really. They helped us, and they continue to help us as well. As we continue on this journey, I mean, we've got a governance team that's set up in the background, which I sit on around the system to look in and see how things are tracking every month. So I think engagement is critical there, and the success of that has been wonderful. The second point, I guess, is the buy-in from people. It's always good to measure what people think of the system, and the usability of the system, and the uptake was really quick. And culturally, risk isn't the most sexy subject in the world when it comes to things, but certainly when you've got a system, it's not just all about risk, and it brings so many great advantages to parts of the business, then you've got a level of buy-in. And if you can make things look attractive, which we did around the dashboard reporting, is next to nothing. It's wonderful. It's just it certainly gives us a better line of sight of how we're traveling. So there's a couple of great outcomes there, and there's probably many, many more as well, which I probably haven't touched on.
Well, let's hope we don't have to test your system with too many other global events, Terry, but it sounds like you're well prepared. I've been speaking with Terry Mulvaney, the Manager of Risk Compliance and Audit at City West Water. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Jo. Thank you.